Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and I'm so excited to present to you episode 2 of Hugging the Cactus. And the timing couldn't be better because a lot of us are stuck at home hoping to stream something new, long form, and this is for you. Look, I want to get right into it. I'm going to show you the intro to the episode so you can get a better taste rather than just listen to me talk about it. And then I'm going to offer some commentary that I didn't really get to do in the episode itself. And really also share you a clip, the juiciest clip of Richard sort of really not giving an F anymore and talking about Survivor, CBS, the cheating, all of it that I kind of believe. Does that mean I don't like the show anymore? Stay tuned. Let's find out. In the meanwhile, check out this clip to get to know Richard Hatch. This is Richard Hatch. You most likely know him from CBS's hit reality show, Survivor. He was the winner of Season 1, which when it aired in the summer of 2000, was such a smash, it was watched by over 51 million viewers. He was a character we hadn't really seen before in a reality show, on a show that was like no other. But most importantly, he understood the social experiment he was part of, and played the game masterfully. He pioneered elements of the game that ultimately made it what it is today. But the show instead presented him as a villain. Fans and critics labeled him Machiavellian. When he appeared again on Survivor's first All-Star season, producers exploited an unfound allegation made against him to make him even more torrid. And then in 2006, the IRS came down on him for evading taxes on his $1 million winnings. He was convicted and served over 51 months in prison, one of the largest penalties on record for the amount he owed. The media used this and continued to label him a villain.
Well, now don't start with that, because there are other allegations in this, and it seems that there was clearly that he misused some charitable funds that were supposed to be dedicated to a charity he was involved with. So hey, just hang on. We're good. We're out of time. Mr. McDonald,
the jury
thank you very much.
disagreed with you on that. You're welcome, Harry.
All right.
That was Richard Hatch's lawyer being shut down on the channel that Richard made millions for, while being accused publicly of something he was acquitted of. So it all begs the question of what really happened. Survivor producers and host Jeff Probst have spoken fondly of him over the years, inviting him back multiple times. However, for this year's first ever All Winners edition, host and executive producer Jeff Probst stated, "I didn't feel comfortable having him on the show and representing a show that is for families." Is Richard Hatch unsafe for families? Did CBS have something to hide? Was CBS throwing him under the bus? Is he a villain? Is he a criminal? I wanted to find out for myself, and Richard was gracious enough to chat with me and share his side of all of it. I'm Andy Signore, and this is Hugging the Cactus. To ensure you never miss a story, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell to all alerts. It's the only way to ensure that YouTube will keep us in your feed. I'm here with Richard Hatch. Richard, thanks so much for joining me.
Oh, my pleasure.
So there you go. That's the tease that I'm going to offer you opening of my episode. But look, there's so much to sort of get through and talk about because I genuinely believe a lot of the stuff he's saying. And if I had gotten more funding to do the show, which I'm grateful for everyone who gave me the funding, don't get me wrong, but I was trying to get more funding so I could do more documentary approaches. I try my best in the beginning, and then it becomes more of a long-form conversation that takes me a long time to do. So the money you guys gave me has made these episodes be better. But it's, again, if you want to give, go to uncanceled.com, because I wish I could get more grants or funding so I could really go interview more people about this and help sort of really come to an answer, because based off talking to Richard and knowing what I already knew and seeing the facts, I'm on Richard's side on this one. But again, always, like I say in the disclaimer, go make up your decisions, go do your own homework. But there's just so much weird stuff if you really get into depth. And we didn't even get to all of it. We got to a lot of it. It's going to be a two-parter. So the first part's up there where we talk all about Survivor, the cheating scandal. And in fact, I want to show you the first clip of the cheating scandal, and then we'll go there. But did you notice, I said it in the narration, but that scene by Harry from the early show, oh my God, it just made my skin crawl. He brings in Rupert, who I liked. I liked him on the show. Brings him there just to crap on Richard. Richard's not even there to defend himself. Richard's just been sent away, been declared convicted of one of the tax evasion, but there were like 11 counts or something. All the rest of them were all thrown out and acquitted. He was acquitted of. But then it's CBS. It was CBS, the channel that he made all the money for. He made that show. Made a lot of money for CBS, and that show was successful because of him. Anybody, later players, whatever they want to say, I remember watching that season as a kid. Richard made that season. Everyone thought he was going to be out first, and it was still sort of a fascinating experiment. But the fact that Richard kept staying, the fact that they weren't understanding the way Richard was playing, which is how you play Survivor, it made it such exciting television that week to week we're like, well, who's next? Oh my God, they don't even know what's happening. They're not even paying attention. They don't know what's going on. He was such a personality. He was so wise, and he was so Machiavellian, but he was just telling the audience how to play the game. He's like, he was never mean to anybody. He was just cheating and backstabbing them because that's what you got to do. He did it as nicely as one could do it. I always respected the way he played it. The whole naked thing was another just next level, which we talk about of why not. He gives this great explanation as to how it helped him that I don't want to spoil. There's so much insight, whether you watch the show or not, or you're casual or you just knew of it. I promise there's so much to watch and learn. But I couldn't believe that CBS early show that just was so unfair. Richard Hatch's lawyer is there trying to explain, well, yeah, I didn't do any charity fraud. The jury actually didn't convict him of that. They threw that out. And they're like, whatever, we're out of time. You don't have any chance to defend yourself because we're trying to throw him under the bus. Why? One thing we didn't really get into was the fact that Richard caught them cheating. And that apparently, this is all in the court documents if you go see it, that apparently is one of the reasons why Mark Burnett and others, allegedly, offered to pay the taxes and say, look, if you win, you'll get a tax-free. That was one of the things that was guaranteed. Now, I don't know what's true, what's not, but it sure seems like the cheating accusations that Richard's about to present, and there's way more in the episode, but the stuff I'm going to play for you right here, right now, look, you can't just throw out accusations like this. You can be liable. Like CBS would come after him. And they're not going to come after him if there's any truth to the rumors. You know what I mean? It's one of those ignore, pretend like it's not a thing. But guys, I think it's a thing. I think it's a thing. And if you go deeper in, there's other cases. The Stacey Stillman also sued them that same year of producer hampering, and she settled due to this star testimony of Dirk, who sort of was like, oh, they totally did. Mark Burnett kept telling me, coaching me on how to vote. So, look, all of this does sort of create this little bit of a cloud of Survivor, but I've been in production. I know all these shows are sort of manipulated. I've come to terms with that years ago. So will I still watch a show? Yeah, it's still fun television. But for the people who are playing it who don't know that it's television, it's not really fair. And they have run over a lot of people's lives in its wrath because of it. But let me show you again, one of the juiciest clips where sort of Richard gets into the cheating accusations when I sort of call him out and say, these are serious. How are we sure? How can we say it? And here was Richard's response.
It's not a question, Andy. They cheated. They know they cheated. They were very, very heavily involved in that show. I think in the second and third thereafter, they tried to be a little less hands-on. But the producers are involved in ways that they shouldn't be, and it's too bad. And Jeff's influence now, Jeff wasn't as involved then in altering what happens, but he is now. The way he handled season 39 was abhorrent, but I'm ahead of myself. So yes, in the early seasons, they were more involved than they should have been. There's nobody who could question the cheating that went on that I caught and stopped the game. All the producers knew about it. I refused to continue. I have the names of the people who were giving the food to Kelly that she then shared with Sue. It's just not questionable. Do they like that? No. I'm sure they hate that. Have they tried to hide it this whole time? Sure. They don't want it talked about, but it's nothing I have refrained from talking about. I've just not had people interested in sharing the whole story. The media is beholden to CBS in a way that the public doesn't understand. CBS, being such an enormous company with such incredible ratings for Survivor, wanted Us Weekly, People, etc., to report in the way that they do, and they manipulate them brilliantly. They allow the reporters onto the island only if they agree to sign these long contracts prohibiting certain things being talked about. So many reporters would have had an opportunity to explore this with me. It was brought out in court during the whole tax evasion charges that I faced. But publicly, it's not something that's been addressed. And the idea of what goes on behind the scenes is not something that people talk about. It's a very, very sad situation. Here's what happens. People in power somehow just stop caring about what's ethically good, who the people under them are. While they're in that, and while I'm helping them make the show what it was, I'm everything. The second that's over and they're on to the next, Mark Burnett, it's a little bit of ADD. Mark's got attention deficit disorder in the way that he just moves from one to the next. All the kudos in the world for his successes. He's a sophisticated person with complicated issues. Jeff Probst is not so sophisticated, and he's not a good person. And so that's how they differ. And as Jeff Probst has gained power, his power is undermining what was good about the game itself, about the show that the viewers love.
Yeah, it gets it's a lot to do. He drops a lot. He doesn't care, and that's just the beginning of it. He goes all over. We get into. I ask him like, well, don't they have like quiz show laws and in the contracts, etc. He breaks it all down. This episode's great because it goes through Survivor facts, everything that's sort of how the show works, how we got there, his background, and then we also get through the All-Star where he had it wasn't even an assault, it was a violation accusation alleged from Sue Hawk, and which he's talked about. If you guys are curious, he has a lot of this on his YouTube channel in short clips. But this was the first time he's even said. I was very grateful at the end of the interview, and I was glad he enjoyed, because it's the first time he really got to talk just unfiltered for a long period of time, and it was just a fascinating conversation. Again, beyond your thoughts on Survivor, just letting him have a venue to really talk about it and to have someone push him and fight it a little bit, which I did. I tried to push a little bit, like, well, come on, but how can you? And he was always he loved it. He was ready to sort of answer it and address it all because he just wants the facts straight. And I think that's what that whole channel I'm doing is so important to me, and why I hope you guys will go check it out in its entirety. And I'm just so proud of it. It's just something I couldn't have done on Screen Junkies because I wouldn't have been in the mindset to do it. And I wouldn't want to have pissed off CBS back then either. I just wouldn't have. I wouldn't have made the call because I'd have been like, ooh, I want to get Survivor people on, and they're not going to let me. But I don't care anymore. That's the beauty of not giving an F anymore, and that's why I related to Richard, and I hope you guys will too. Please go over to Hugging the Cactus and check it out. You can subscribe. I think if YouTube will let me, there'll be a little cactus here. Otherwise, there's a Popcorn Planet. Subscribe to whatever's up here, and then you can watch the Richard Hatch episode here. There's also the Caitlin Ford episode still going on, and then there might be another like Popcorn Planet thing if you're like, yeah, I don't care. Watch something of mine, please. Keep the algorithm going. I'm going to be delivering a lot more content for you since we're all stuck at home. I get to be here quarantined in my studio. Everybody stay safe. Fantastic interview for you to watch while you're home if you are. Thanks so much for support, everybody. All you guys who kickstarted it, I'm so grateful. If you'd like to give more, you can go to uncanceled.com as I prep for the next wave, and I'm stuck in post in the next some. And if you have a story you want to suggest, you can reach out to me on Twitter at @AndySignore to tell me. So please reach out and let me know if you got somebody out there or if you have a story that is worthy of being told. Thanks again, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.